Hello, I'm Sri from CBTU. CBTU presents a course on Java language. Section Java Basics. Topic Java Syntax. Let us know what is syntax. Syntax refers to the set of rules, how a program is to be written in various languages. Every language will have a different syntax to be followed. Java syntax is similar to C, C++. If anyone has experience with C or C++ during college education or sometime, then you will find Java syntax easy and familiar. Basics include identifier, keywords, literals, variables, and many other components. We will be knowing all these in a moment. Knowing these basics helps us to get a grip on the language quicker. Here is a sample program. Here is a small program that is written here. On the left side, it is written in Notepad++ editor. On the left side, you see a Java program, helloworld.java is written in Notepad++. On the right side, you see this program is compiled using command prompt terminal and is executed. So to get started, what all you need is minimum notepad or notepad++ and a command prompt. Of course, you need JDK to compile and execute your program. Let us understand each of these basics. The identifier. What is an identifier? It's a name of an element in the code. And of course, anything in Java is case sensitive, be it a class name or file name or variable or anything. There are naming conventions to be followed for the Java identifiers. An identifier cannot start with a digit and it should not be a reserved keyword. Every language will have a keywords, reserved keywords, and they should not be used in the identifiers, class names, or the file names. So what we have written here is int, that is integer. Integer means any number. And we have defined age and we initialized that with number 30. Okay. And you see the semicolon at the end of the line. That is mandatory. That is part of the syntax. To terminate a line, use semicolon. You see down in the program also, every line is terminated by a semicolon. Here integer x and x is initialized with number 9 and they are terminated with semicolon. That's the reason they can be in the same line. But there are two line statements. Age here is an identifier of type integer and here the name is an identifier of the string type, data type. We have many data types in the Java and integers are used for numbers and string is used for text, sequence of characters. Don't worry much about the terminology for now. Down the line, while compiling, while writing the code, there may be some Java syntax errors. Most of the editors are intelligent and they suggest you with the corrections, required corrections. I'll quickly walk you through the basics and then take some demos. Keywords. Java or in fact any language uses some keywords. They are reserved for the usage in the language. They cannot be used for naming classes, objects or variables. Some keyword examples are for, new, do, if and these others. In our code, we'll take a demo on using these keywords and let us see what error they throw. And we'll correct it to get our code compiled and executed. Literal means it's a fixed value. You can use that value in your program without any other computation. These are the literals. You have boolean, byte, short, integer, string and others. And when we defined boolean result with true, it's initialized with true. We can use result in our program with its value defined here. We have defined string str with hello string, that's within double quotes. You can use str literal anywhere in your program and it carries the value that is defined here. Here the result is boolean literal and str is string literal. Another word you will be using most often is variables. These are the identifiers associated with the values. Here the count is variable of the type integer. And in the second line, count is initialized with value, numeric value 55. And you can declare and initialize the variable like this, integer count equals 55. This way also you can do. The Java language defines instance variables, class variables, local variables, and parameters. Every program contains blocks of code. They are identified and separated with curly brackets. The code inside that signify a code block and it has a defined meaning. This is our first Java program, Hello World. We discussed earlier what all we need is just Notepad or Notepad++, its advanced editor. You need a terminal and of course you need to have Java installed on your system. You need JDK. So you check the version. If the commands Java and JavaC give you the help text, that means you have the Java installed and your current directory is in the path. You check the path as well if you want to make any tweaking. Okay, simply type Java, enter. You got this help text. This help text signifies that you have Java installed on your system. Similarly, JavaC, it also gives the help text. So now let us check the version of Java. It is OpenJDK version 15.0.2. And this is the information about JRE and JVM. Okay, let us check the path as well. You may need to edit, modify the environment variables while installing Java or Eclipse IDE. We'll cover that in a separate session and for now we are good to proceed with compiling. So let us see the directory. So we have hello world.java, Java source file in our directory. And let us comment this. Use /* /. Compiler understands these are comments and it will not throw any errors for the text inside. Okay, let us delete it. We don't need them anyway. Okay, save the file and ready to go. JavaC and name of the file. If you enter the first character, then use the tab to autofill the name. You don't need to type the complete name. Enter. If you have multiple files starting with say H, then repeatedly press tab so that it will scroll through all the files starting with that letter. Okay, you see the class file was not there before and now it has compiled this Java source code into a class file that contains the byte code. So let us see what is there in that. This is the byte code. This is the beauty of this Java. These are the instructions for the JVM to run to execute the program. See here, we have defined a class. You see the class name? It starts with a uppercase. The first letter is uppercase and each word is in uppercase. Follow this naming convention for uniformity. It doesn't throw error if you use lowercase, but follow this uniform naming convention. And there is a main method. In any Java executable file, you need to have the main method. It may take or may not take the arguments, but you need to follow this syntax for the main method. String, args, and the square brackets you see, this is an array. And this block of code, and it has the print statement. We are printing the output to the console. This is a console. So system.out.println. This is the text within the quotes. Whatever you type within the quotes is a text. And this println method started with bracket and ended with the bracket. And this line is terminated with semicolon. Let us save this and compile again. Running this program is simply Java space hello world, the name of the class file. You don't need to enter the extension class. So this is the output that is printed on your terminal. So that is what we said exactly. You should not enter the extension class. Just enter the name of that class without extension. Otherwise, it will throw this error. Okay. Now let us add some variables. Integer. Let us define x, integer y, and let us say x equals 3, y equals 9. Okay, we have defined two variables and initialized with the values. Okay, let us print these values. This is some text we have written, and this is a string. Anything within the quotes is a string, right? So this is a variable and we want to print that. You need to concatenate, and this plus is a concatenation operator, concatenating this string with the variables. If it's a variable, you don't need to use the quotes. So you need to concatenate these variables also. That's why we used x plus y. Let us see what output it will give. Save, compile, run. X and y are 3, 9. There is no space. How to give the space? If we give the space like this is white space. Will it consider? Let us see. Let us compile again and run. Now, there is no space between 3 and 9. So this is basically white space. Java ignores the white space when you are concatenating the variables, right? This is white space. White space is ignored while doing concatenation, joining these variables, right? If there is a white space within the quotes, let us see what output it will give. Yes, it has considered this white space here within the quotes, but not outside the quotes. Okay, we want to separate these two values with comma. Let us remove this white space. It's not wrong, but for the good appearance, we have removed that extra white space. And if you want to give white space within these quotes, if you want a white space here, then you can have it. Let us see, will it take that white space? Yes, it has taken. You see the gap here. And whatever you want some separator, say comma, you can give here, and it will take that. Yes, it has taken that comma. You can define the variables in a single line. Let us say integer x and y, x comma y, and you see the semicolon at the end. This is line termination, and initialization with the same values. This is acceptable. Yes, compiled and run again. Okay. And whatever the text here, suppose let us define a string. Yes. And you want this text to go there. Cut, paste, and semicolon. Okay, now we have the variable s that is with this text. So let us use s here. So basically this string plus these two variables we are concatenating. Let us see the output. Get the same output as before. Another way we can have the same output that is, let us comment this. If you want to comment a single line, you use /. This will comment this line. Compiler will not consider this line, right, for the purpose of compiling. You can use quotes. Now let us use printf. Printf is formatting. With formatted text, we can print the output. Let us use the same text. This was the previous string, right? Now you want the same output, right? You use %d, comma, %d. This all within the quotes and followed by comma and the two variables. This %d is a format specifier for the integer. And let us see what output we'll get. We're compiling the same program. See, you got the same output here. We have used the printf, print format method. Okay, so you don't want this. We have a string here, right? We want the string to come here. So let us copy this. Let us comment this one. So let us remove this. Use %s, that is for the string. Okay, let us see what we will get. Of course, we have to input that s as well. Okay, we have 3 format specifiers and 3 variables here. Save this, compile, run. You got the same output here. Okay, in this we have seen integer data type which can take the numbers, and string data type which can take text, right? Okay, back to our presentation. The comments, we have 3 kinds of comments in Java. So the first one is traditional comments, /* and the text in between, and with star and /. Whatever the text in between, that will be commented. And end of line comments, use the // to comment that line. And these are the documentation comments. Just this is the format, and this is within the /* and terminated with star /. Oh, I forgot a star here. I'll keep a star here. In the following sessions, we'll be covering these keywords like public, class, static, void, main, and these others. Thanks for watching.